Hello everybody, how's it going? My name is Drew and welcome to a brand new video here on Cornerstone Season 3. I have a lot of stuff to talk about this episode because this is probably the first video where the most amount of work has actually got done between episodes. Most of that has a big thanks to do to Nellas. Been tackling this project for quite some time now, and I kind of came to the realization that I needed the help that I didn't want to ask for, because I wanted this to be a project that I got most of it done on my own, and I did all the building and the quest designs and playtesting and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't until I finally reached out for help where the game started really taking more shape in a lot of areas where I just wasn't getting anywhere close to doing. What I was doing for the most part the last little while was just playtesting some stuff. I was doing a lot of fishing. I was getting set up on farming, and I wasn't getting a lot of building done. I wasn't getting a lot of the world laid out. There's not even many videos about this yet so far. I think this is the third video I've made about this game that I'm making here in vanilla Minecraft. So I'm making a life sim style RPG to create an experience for everyone here on Cornerstone SMP, and actually even long term, I'd like to get a world download out to you guys too if you ever wanted to play this. So I have all these villagers here, and I think there's 16 here total, and a lot of them have different professions. We got farmers and fishermen and clerics and what do you call these guys over here? Who are you? Leather workers? And we even had one smoker guy, butcher. I should know that. It's a lot to explain, but basically you're going to be in this town, which is kind of over there. You can see that tower. That's something that Nellas has been working on. I cannot wait to show you guys what it looks like. But you're going to be wandering around in even the outskirts of this town, and you're going to have a profession. You're going to have a couple professions, but you'll have like your starting one, and that will give you some exclusive bonuses to your character when you enter this life sim. And you'll be able to trade with villagers to get emeralds, to get all kinds of different loot and resources, and when you fish you can get resources that way, and you'll be working around the game trading with villagers, adding more to your character, getting more valuable items, submitting emeralds for points, because like there's going to be like a scoreboard system. I got way too much I'm trying to say at once, so I think I got to slow myself down. So before we really get into it, I want to show the village that Nellas has started making for us. This village is going to be the heart of the game, and I think showing you what the village looks like will best visualize what I'm trying to explain to you. So how this game will start is you will come in picking a starter class, and that will be fisherman, farmer, adventurer, student, or there might have been one or a couple others. I had a lot more. Like I had a lot of notes that I kind of had to scrap because I realized that the game was getting really ambitious. So I had to scale back just to make sure like we actually start getting things done. And then once we start getting things done, we can start adding on the extra things that we want it to do. But like I said, you will pick a starter class, and you will come into this town with your exclusive bonuses from your class. And just because you picked a starting profession doesn't mean that you can't do other professions. If you want to go be a farmer, you can be a farmer despite picking a fisherman class to start the game with. It's just you're not going to get those same bonuses that a farmer would have. You know what I mean? Little things like that. That's kind of how the balance is going to work. So this is the main village that Nellas has been working on, and when the game opens, this place will be bustling, hopefully with both players of Cornerstone and with villagers as well. There's going to be shops here where you can go in and you can trade with the villagers, but if you need emeralds, you'll have to go work on some jobs, or you'll have to go fish or farm and get emeralds that way, or find loot and then sell loot, or you know what I mean? Like there's going to be options. So that's where the life sim aspect comes in, is like you are a resident of this town, or maybe even an outskirt as well, right? Like we're going to have different houses and properties scattered out throughout the map. And to show you the map real quick, I kind of claimed all this territory around. So I have the main village here. This is what Nellas has been working on. But over here, I started clearing out where the farmland is going to be. So if you're a farmer, you're going to be doing a lot of farming and a lot of work out here. That's where you're going to be spending a lot of your time. And then there's going to be a fishing hut over there. There's already a small fishing hut over there. So the small fishing hut, say, will have 1 or 2 fishermen villagers, but the main fishing area over there is going to have 3 to 4, right? So, and then that's where your quests are going to be because, like I said, there's going to be adventure to this game. And I kind of want every profession to have their own storyline to it, right? Like there's going to be a fisherman storyline, there's going to be a farmer storyline, there's going to be a student storyline, there's going to be an adventurer storyline. And then if you do all of them, I would like for there to be like this ultimate end game as well. And I'm not ready to talk about that because I have some vague ideas on what it's going to consist of, but as of right now, it's just not even a complete idea. I can't really talk about it. Even if I did, I don't know if I want to spoil things in my videos, but we'll see. We'll see. So I hope that's a good enough pitch for you guys to sort of understand the game and the direction that it's going. Obviously, you can see now it's really starting to come to life, especially if you've seen my last video, you'll know how little work got done compared to this. Let's go back over here to where the villagers are because this is mostly what I've been working on. I've been collaborating with Nellas. She's been doing a lot of the building over there and laying out the world as well with me. This is what I've been working on, and that's trying to figure out the villagers, try to figure out the balances of the trades, doing a little bit of play testing. You know, I got some farmland here. I haven't really dealt with this yet, but I've been learning a lot just by setting it up. Obviously, we have a villager breeder, and then down here, we have a dev cave, and there's going to be quite a bit of stuff to talk about, especially compared to what was in my last video, because a lot of this stuff has changed compared to my last video. So, for example, I have little areas set up here to differentiate between the two professions so far, so farmer and fisherman. I have a play testing chest here, so whenever I want to come in and I want to play test around this area as a fisherman, I have my saved data here in this chest, and I have some statistics as well. And I'll be starting that with the farmer. And then I was experimenting here, like just trying to show you, like with luck at the C1, luck at the C2, what does an hour of each look like for fishing? And then, you know, just to visualize, if you wanted to fish for an hour, depending on the enchantments that you have on your fishing rod, this is what you can kind of roughly expect, right? And then I'll do something similar with the farmer as well. And then like a student, like you'll be going to like a school and learning how to brew potions and stuff. Obviously here on Cornerstone, everyone knows how potions work for the most part, but in the game, we're going to be reintroducing potions a little bit differently, right? There's going to be lore behind it. Like I want it to be a little bit more immersive compared to how most people usually play Minecraft. And this is also going to be a game too where it's not going to be typical Minecraft because yes, you're going to be playing in a vanilla server. Well, it's vanilla for the most part. We're playing with the Terralith mod, meaning that there's new biomes in the game just without adding any new blocks, if that makes sense, like custom biomes. You'll see a couple of those kicking around here. Oops. But this game is going to be played in a way where it's sort of designed to be played in adventure mode. And we actually might have some tricks because I was talking to Palythoa, who is the owner of Cornerstone, and we might be able to set it up with command blocks where this area here might be in adventure mode Minecraft. We might even have it set up where, say this is a command block here, you hit a button, and then the closest player to that command block will be put into adventure mode. And then that's the only way to play our life sim game is in adventure mode because I don't want crafting, I don't want block breaking or block placement. So, you know what I mean? Like it's designed to be played that way, to be designed a little bit more immersive, if that makes sense. So Hap is actually on the server now, and I would like to set something up where him and I can talk to you guys about a side game that we have plans for the life sim here. I'll set it up this way. When you're playing the game, if you're trading with a librarian, if you are fishing, because if you go down and you look at the fishing books that we have down here, or just the chests, but you can see like you can actually start collecting enchanted books. My question is, what are we going to do with all the enchanted books? Because I don't really think there might be reason to enchant your gear and stuff. Like we'll figure it out if we want enchanting to be part of this life sim. But for the meantime, I was thinking, what are we going to do with all these enchanted books? Even if we do allow enchanting in this RPG game that we're making, not every book might have function to it. So it's like, what do you do with all these extra books? Like, well, maybe you take it to a library and you submit them for loot or whatever. But then I had an idea. What if we made a card game, but with enchanted books? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Let's sleep real quick and I'll show you what I'm saying. Down here is a little prototype that I set up. Not a prototype, just a little display room to show and pitch the game that I had in mind. Let's say that this is a trading card style game where you have to battle another player. You would have a deck that would be, say, in a shulker box or two, and you would submit your deck. And then each round, it's turn-based, and you would have to draw from your deck. And say you draw like a chess piece. Well, we can actually put a chess piece on our character board, and that will give our character +1 health. You know what I mean? Because the objective is to attack and kill the other player. And then let's say you draw from your deck, and you pick up a Unbreaking book. Well, you could actually place Unbreaking onto your chess piece here. So when a character hits you, my idea was there's durability to everything too. Not everything is going to last forever. So say you get hit, well, you would have to rotate your chess piece by 1, and that would indicate that your armor took damage. And then once your armor does, like, say, a full rotation, it breaks, and then you have to put it into your discard pile. You know what I mean? And if that breaks, then your enchanted book goes with it, right? You can deck your character out with full armor. You can give your character a weapon to do more damage. You could give them a shield to say blocking damage, and so on and so on. So that's kind of the idea, and everything can be enchanted. But there might be some enchantments that only work for, you know, your sword. So say you wanted to build, you know, a deck with more damage, you would want to put like sharpness in your deck, and then, you know, you would play that on your sword, and then now you could do extra damage and stuff. And then we talked about what if there were effects done in the game. You know, what if you wanted to build something like a fire deck, so you do more damage to your character by, you know, placing like fire aspect on your sword, or say you have a bow and you put flame on your bow, and then all of a sudden you can start doing burning damage to your character, or to your opponent's character board. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I pitched the idea to Hap. He got really excited about it. We'll see if we can meet up with him and see if he has any more ideas. Since him and I last talked off camera, I kind of wanted him to take full control in this game, because with the amount of stuff that I have to do up here and on the surface, and you know what I mean? Like I got to do a lot of writing with quests and storylines and lore and all that kind of jazz. I won't be able to commit to everything, like the building. That's why I have Nellas in doing the building, and the card game. That's why I brought Hap in to work on the card game, because I need more help to make these things work. But don't worry, Hap won't be spoiled on everything, because Hap will be mostly in control over this, the card game. I want everyone to still be able to play the game and experience it as if they don't know much about the game or anything about the game, because even if they're helping me, I still want them to have that new player experience. You know what I mean? Like I still want to keep some cards close to my chest, no pun intended. So one thing I found recently was a cave below us. So we have the villager breeder here, we have the farm, we got the villagers here that we will be transporting to, you know, outside the map. Some of these guys will be going to the village, some of these guys will be going outside the village, and we got this farm over here that we got to take care of. What I'm trying to say is, when we open the game, all this stuff is going to have to be moved. I found an area underneath here. So directly above us is the villager spawner. And I'm going to flood this with water, so the water kind of funnels down to the middle part here. And then all the villagers will fall down here when we drop them from the breeder up front. And then this is going to be the new dev cave down here. I already started making some tunnels. Oh, no, not there. I did start making tunnels somewhere. I just forgot where they were. I guess it's been a while since I've been down here. Aha, yes. So we'll have tunnels running throughout all of the underground here, throughout the whole map. So say we have a villager that accidentally dies in the game and we need to replace them. Well, we'll have the breeder down here, and we can breed a new farmer or whatever, and we can take them through the tunnels via minecarts when I get this all set up. And we can actually start having some ways to transporting villagers when we start like finalizing the game above us, if that makes sense. Okay, so one thing I want to talk to you guys about, because this is new to me and I don't know how new it is to everyone or how popular this is. But I'm playing with this new mod now called Voxy. Do you guys know about Voxy? I just found out about this. It's cool. It's really cool because it doesn't look like typical Minecraft chunks. It's a little weird. And I do have a spyglass on me just for this reason. That's the shopping district on Cornerstone, and it's really, really far away. I'm talking like 3,500 blocks away. I flew there just to load all these chunks in between because before it was just a floating island. It looks close, but it takes a really long time to get out there. You can even see the dragon from Hobbiton. You can see that's the gaming district over there. I think Levels area is over there. Yeah, so it's insane what this mod does. Now, these are not real chunks. It's described like a painting. That's what Brandy was saying. It's strange. I don't know if I'm going to keep playing with it because obviously we get some really weird terrain here. And when you fly up and you're looking at the area like this, it does sort of kind of break the immersion for me a little bit. If I wanted to go like really into it and really keep the immersion aspects, I would have to spend hours, I think, just loading all the terrain around me. You know what I mean? So we don't get like the... That's kind of cool in there, actually. But we don't get like these missing chunks, you know what I mean? So it's really cool. I remember playing with Bobby. I thought Bobby was really neat, but Voxy takes that onto like a different level. But I won't lie, I'm probably going to go back to the just regular chunks by getting rid of Voxy. But there is a way to play with it a little bit. I don't know all these settings enable Voxy. Wait, so if okay, so this is what Minecraft should look like for me. This is what it should look like for me. But if we use Voxy again, will it keep the chunks or do I have to reload the chunks? Oh, no. Okay, so it's all still there. And then there is a way to even, where was it? You can actually enable the vanilla fog. Environmental fog? Vanilla fog? I don't want the statistics, I don't think. Okay. I see. Okay, so this is the vanilla fog here. Let's get rid of that. And now we have the environmental fog, which actually, you know what? I think that sort of helps. It's weird because I know the fog is a little bit controversial, but I am kind of getting used to it, where when I first installed Voxy, and then I saw the world without the fog, I kind of started to miss the fog a little bit. I don't know if that's just me, but I kind of feel a little bit weird. Okay, so for me, it's really nice that I've been talking to you guys now because I've been putting off some work because I knew like I was getting really ahead of myself. And Nellas has been doing so much work and I've been doing so much work. It was really important for me to do an update before I even go any further because it would be a lot more for me to explain to new people that don't know anything about the game that we're making, and then it would be almost just as much to explain for the people that have followed the last couple of videos because I didn't get much work done on my last couple of videos. I have quite a bit more work. I got a big to-do list, and I think I'm ready to start getting the dev cave set up underneath the area here so I can start bringing the villagers down and like, you know, make a new breeder and all that kind of jazz and finish like more tunnels, dig out more tunnels. So what that means is that I'm going to get to more work and hopefully we can meet up with Hap and Nellas and talk about what they've come up with and their ideas for the game too. You know, what is Hap thinking about this card game that we're going to do with the enchanted books, and what's Nellas's thought process behind the village that she's working on, and the function and the purpose of each building as well. Nellas, no swearing.
Frick.
So what's hip hap hippity happen, everybody? My name is HaphazardousWste.
Can't believe you just did that in front of me.
So Nellas, I was talking before about the village here. I didn't go into like a lot of detail about like what everything was, just that the village is the main hub of the game, and there's going to be different functions with each building. So I know you're constructing a lot, so I kind of thought it would be maybe more necessary if you talked about it, if like you wanted to kind of give us a tour on what the town is looking like so far and what we can do here.
Sure. There's no interiors to anything. The tavern has some floors, but everything else doesn't. So we can just look at them from the outside, I guess. But I do also have this beautiful map over here.
Yeah, I didn't show this before.
With all of the important locations marked as well.
Yeah.
So the main buildings that we have, you can see right here is the fishing hut and the post office, tavern, the general store, clothing shop, stable, and greenhouse, and then I just have some random buildings. Do you want to talk about how the empty buildings can be rented out and
Of course.
stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, the empty buildings can be rented out. Maybe we start by the fishing hut, which is a little bit off to the side of
Yeah.
town.
You want to go out there now?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. With the goldfish.
So this is the small fishing hut, right? There's going to be a bigger one even further away from town.
Yes. So I think I might have mentioned this before, but the purpose of having this here is if you wanted to stay close to everything, and everything meaning the village, like there is a nice little spot for the fishermen to go to. Like if you want to work on your fishing, there's something close to the village. But it's not going to be the main area. This is not where you're going to be picking up the quests for the fishing storyline. It's not where most of the fishermen are going to be here that you can trade with. It's just something that's a little bit close to home and a little bit more convenient. But if you want to work on like the main fishing stuff, you're going to have to go out a little bit further. I'm really, really happy with how this is all turning out. All of it, but like the fishing hut too in particular.
Yeah, and I talked to you a little bit about this already, but this is also kind of overgrown and looks just kind of like run down and a bit more just taken over by nature. And my idea was that just for this pathway that leads from town over to the fishing hut, I want to do a little bit of like a custom biome, or at least some custom trees. So I have more of this dense forest than what it is right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's also why the post office over here is also a little bit more. It has some, like leaves on the roof, because that vegetation is supposed to kind of start here on the side of town.
So this is the post office. So the idea behind that is, I guess like it would be a good way for like players to communicate with each other too. But even if we have important information like we want to give, like we have an option to do that. So if we do have to communicate with people on Cornerstone, it doesn't have to be solely through the Discord. It could be something like that they set up in the shopping district here on Cornerstone. So we can do that in-game, like in this Life Sim RPG. We can have something very similar to that, where if we have news or coupons or anything like that we want to gift to the players, this can be like a nice little hub for that too.
And this little river here is of course going to lead into the lake, but I think we need to get some terraforming done first before that happens.
Yeah, for sure. This is not final.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll work on this.
Then if we go around the back of the post office, we get to these big buildings that are kind of the backdrop of the town at the moment.
Yeah.
But they will of course also be functional. Right now, as I said, they're
Again,
very
no
empty.
interior, yeah.
Yeah, but these are gonna be rentable for the players of the live sim. I don't know if you went in detail on this already, but the tavern is kind of the starting point, right? That's what we have over here.
Yeah.
This one will have just rooms that players can rent, which of course will be much cheaper than like buying these properties right here. So they kind of like maybe they can like stand in their little room in the tavern and look out at the big beautiful buildings and just envision themselves as a rich lord one day.
Yeah, it's important that we set up these goals for players, right? The idea, and I don't think I talked about it this video yet, but I believe it's something I might have touched up on my last video or maybe the video before. But the idea of having property, because when you start the game, you're not really going to have anything. And your player inventory is all you're going to be working with. So in the game, you're going to be collecting more items and resources and food, all that kind of stuff. And eventually, your player inventory is probably not going to be enough. So the idea is to work towards getting property if you want to rent a room or an apartment, or if you want to rent a house, like, we've been talking about, like, buying houses throughout the world too. That's going to be a nice goal to work towards, because the reward for that is to have extra storage. And so I think that was kind of the idea, is like charging the rooms and the properties based on the storage that's available. So like if it's a double chest in a room, it's going to be pretty cheap. But if you want to buy an apartment, you might get like, 3 double chests or something like that. Or if you get a house, then, it'll be more expensive, but you'll have less stress on inventory management as you're playing the game, right? That was kind of the idea of it. Yeah, go ahead.
I really like how it's kind of this, like balance between, for one, it's the practical thing with the inventory space, but you can also take it in the roleplay direction, where people can be like bragging about how they're already in their fancy apartment while others are still in their tavern room and stuff like that. This little bridge leads back to the tavern. And I don't think we need to like look at all the individual rooms here, but I did
it's a little bit
work
more.
this out a little bit more.
Yeah, it's more put together in this building, that's for sure.
Yeah, so like for example, this one is kind of one of the nicer rooms with lots of big windows.
See, I like this one because this is kind of maybe the nicer room in the whole building, if not maybe the nicest. But you look across the street and you still feel like you don't have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea. Yeah, and then there's, you can go over here in the other building and there's more smaller rooms and attic spaces. And I think we have 11 rooms in total that can be rented here.
Yeah, no shortage of that. No shortage of properties or anything. So even if somebody because somebody will come up and like if they're the first player to buy a room, then unfortunately like the person that wanted that room might not be able to get it unless say like the first player sells it or whatever. But that being said, like because there's so many rooms, like there's so many options and stuff, there's like even if you didn't get the exact room that you wanted, there's so much different opportunities for you. So that's like residential stuff. We talked about a tavern, like so we'll have a villager. I think it's the butcher that sells food and stuff. I think that's where they're going to be. So if you want to come to town and you want to pick up some food or something unique that the butcher has, that's where you'll be able to go. We'll say that's kind of like the residential area, but there's other buildings over here if you want to talk about that because these might have different functions behind it.
Right, so these two buildings up here are kind of for shopping, I guess. So the one in the front is the general store, and the one in the back with the purple roof, that's the clothing shop.
So what's the villager called? I even looked at it earlier and I can't remember what it's called. The ones that have like the armor and stuff like that. Hap, you should know that. Is it armor? I don't think it's the armor.
That's just blacksmith.
I looked at it earlier. It's like right over there and I forgot. Anyway, you could set up like 5 different types of those villagers and they all have different colors of armors and different trades and stuff like that. So that one's going to be a bit unique. Like we could probably have maybe not to this scale, but maybe we could have like a couple more of these shops popping up around the world and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be just in the town. There's a lot of opportunity with those villagers because of how much variety you can get from those trades. And then we also talked about there's a big building here, but not all of the building might be accessible to the player. A lot of it's aesthetic too, but where I was coming from was to help with the immersion. I want to make it believable where if there's a villager, they have a home too. Like they have a place to stay, So at nighttime, you can actually watch villagers go to bed, like which I think would be kind of cool. So that's what a lot of this extra space could be used for, right?
Well, I do even have like full-on houses that could be used for that because we have this little one that's over here on the side, for example. This one's too small, I think, for like an actual player because it just has like this tiny space in here.
Yeah.
But you could have a bed for Nidwit in here, right?
It just makes everything feel a little bit more dense too, a little bit more civilized, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that touches up most of this over here. But over here, there's a stable, right? And there's a greenhouse. So the greenhouse would work for like the farming profession, similar to what the small fishing hut was or is. This is the greenhouse. So we're going to have a little bit of farming stuff set up in here for people that want to work on farming close to the village. But if you want to do like your actual farming profession in that storyline, you got to go out a little bit further. And then we have the stable here. And because we want to be able to purchase horses and mounts and stuff like that in the game too. So that's going to be just a place where obviously you can safely store your mounts if you're coming to town. But is there anything else you wanted to say too? There's a purple building over there. I actually don't know if you've talked to me about that one or not.
Yeah, this one would just be another one that I think players can buy. I think this one has a good amount of space for that. And it's just a little more off to the side if someone, doesn't want to live in that part of town. They want to live over here, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they like going out adventuring, so they want to be close to their horse or something like that.
And that just goes to show like there's a little bit of something for everyone, right? Where if you wanted to live in an urban environment, like of course you can come to town, but if you want to live more rural, like we will have houses set up like maybe out towards the farm, maybe out towards like the main fishing area, maybe just there's a whole other subdivision because we talked like where the portal is over there. Behind that portal, there's this whole section that I want to use, but I can't really think of anything else to do other than like housing, right? So yeah, there's going to be a lot of opportunity.
We'll come up with some ideas. I have some ideas.
There's exactly. Yeah, there's no problem. And then Hap, this is relevant to you, but where this sign is here, is ideally where we want to have like the battle arena for like the trading card game, right?
Correct.
But we can't really figure it out yet, like in terms of like design and spacing, because we haven't figured the game out fully. We have like the concept of it down and a lot of ideas floating around, but until like we actually figure out how the game's going to work, then we can start building the arena around that. Like if that makes sense, you know what I mean?
Yes, correct.
Do you have anything you want to say about that?
Oh, I mean, the ideas we've been floating around, I think is going to be a super fun game. Like
Yeah.
you pitched the idea. I don't know how in depth you've gone in your videos, but you pitched the idea of, since this is going to be kind of just a life sim area, there's not going to be a real need for many enchantment books, that sort of thing.
I don't think so.
And so your idea to convert the books into card effects of sorts for this game was really cool. And ever since you pitched the idea to me, my brain has just been going on like, okay, which books have which effects, and like how can we make this like an arena style game, that sort of thing, and like what should each turn look like. So I haven't had much time to work on it yet, but believe me, my brain has been going about it.
Man, and I ask myself a lot of questions too, is like, you know, how long will these games even last? Like how much durability should armor have, and how much health should a player have? You know, and how much health will armor provide, and how many, you know, hits should a sword do? You know what I mean? Like there's so many questions that we have to figure out. But yeah, like I'm just curious. I'm excited because there's so much unknown right now, right? And I'm really, really pumped to like get this down. And once you start once you start putting together concepts and like you get together like say like a playable prototype of the game, I cannot wait to start playtesting it.
Oh, I know. I definitely will play testing because I want to make sure that this game is solid.
Yeah,
like I said, I don't want games to last too long. I don't want them to be too short. I want turns to be very interactive and interesting. And you know, it's a tough thing to do, but I think if we keep at it and just keep tweaking it and whatnot, it'll turn out really cool.
You know, Nellas, I think you'd be good to play test with because of your magic history.
Because I'm such a Magic the Gathering nerd.
She's the magic master. She has all the gym badges in Magic.
Yeah, I can play test and criticize.
You've been playing Pokemon Pocket.
Yeah.
You've been playing Magic. I like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're the best minds of
We're
each
the
of the
nerds.
big card games.
This is it. So anyway, yeah, I can't wait till we actually have like an arena here. I think because the idea that we talked about was having like an outdoor theater, like an amphitheater style. You know what I mean? So something like that.
And then especially once the actual backdrop for the town will be in over there.
Yeah.
That's gonna be very sick.
Yeah, that's a big conversation. So that's going to be the library. I'm talking about the game a lot with you guys on video, and I'll continue talking about the game even more as it goes on and a lot of behind the scenes. But there will be things that I will not talk about on video out of risks of spoilers. And the library, there's going to be a lot of secrets behind that. So we got to make sure like when the time comes and we start constructing the library and talking about it more, I'm just a little bit like, I don't mind talking to you guys about it, but I just want to make sure, like, in terms of content, I don't go too far with what I talk about it or what I talk about regarding it. So anyway, anything else you guys want to talk about?
I think that's it.
I'm just looking forward to really brainstorming with y'all on this card game because, man, the idea machine has been churning in my head.
I'm telling you guys, I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling this game, and just in general, I've been feeling a lot more inspired to play Minecraft and to make content. Not just Cornerstone here, but I got some other big plans in the future, especially for single player stuff. That's going to be coming back. Spoiler alert, that's coming back. All right, so in between the last clip and now, I think this is all new. So Hap has been really busy at making notes, and him and I just off camera just quickly went over a lot of this stuff. It's a lot to take in, so I'm taking my time and going through this, and I think next episode we'll have a much better update to go over it with you guys about the overall direction that we're taking the game and understanding Hap's mindset. But I want to make sure that he's here for when we fully go over this with you guys. Aside from that, I went ahead and I can't remember if this hole was here last time, whatever. But you draw, oh yeah, I think it was. But I have it a little bit more set up down here now. I got an area where I'm gonna have some chests and the new farm down here, the new breeder, right? And then, Yeah, I haven't made any more tunnels yet, but that's all coming. So it's shaping up a lot better now. I think next episode I will have all the villagers move down here, because what I'm going to be doing next, I think, in terms of game development, is start really laying out the map and working on the quests is probably what I'm going to be doing next. I need your guys' ideas for quests too. So like I've already reached out to Nellas about some ideas, and I've been working some ideas as well, but I want to get the fundamental quests down first, like the objectives and the function behind them, and then start working on the lore behind everything. It's a lot more work, but once we start building more around, like Nellas has been obviously working on the village over there, the town, I guess. It's a little bit bigger than a village, eh? But for example, this will be the farm over here. So when we start making this area look more like a farm, we're gonna be driving that momentum. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be driving us when we actually start visualizing the actual world around us, if that makes sense. So it's the farmland. We got the fishing area over here. We're going to be building like a big school. Probably a little bit more stuff here in the village. And we're going to have more shops popping up, I think, scattered throughout the world too. All based on the villagers that we have. And then it'll be quite some time, but we will work on the library eventually when the time is right. So we have a lot more work to do. But I can say that development is really starting to speed up because of the amount of work that we've got done between last episode and this episode, and the amount of motivation that I have just in general, just as a Minecraft. Oh, what happened? Oh, sorry, that was weird. Just as a Minecraft YouTuber and just playing Minecraft in general, I've been feeling it a lot more. I've been playing Minecraft more off camera, which is really good. That's really healthy for me. Oh yeah, I've been working on this. I don't know if you guys ever saw this or not. You probably did, especially if you go back in a previous episode. But this was all like a big cave that I had to cover, and I'm trying to terraform it as best as I can. There's a lot of work that I still have to do. I don't know. I might just like do a little bit more terraforming. Maybe just flood it. Maybe create like a lake over here. I think that could be kind of cool. But there are natural caves around here that I will probably use for adventures and stuff like that, some quests, and you know, if people just want to explore and find loot, maybe they can like stumble across a random cave and they'll find loot. You know what I mean? Just little things like that. Well, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Cornerstone Season 3, and I hope you're enjoying the ride of us making this game, and I hope it's really going to be delivering upon all your expectations, because I feel like I've been hyping this game up quite a bit. I hope I'm not like overhyping it, and I hope we can actually deliver like on all the features and the quests and the storylines. But like the last thing I would want is to make a game that people are going to come in and they're going to spend a day playing, and then they're going to basically do like all the content, right? Like I'm looking to make a game that people are going to come back multiple times to play and maybe sink like 20 hours into it. You know what I mean? Like that's the idea. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next episode of Cornerstone Season 3.